United Nations says an area the size of China must be rewilded if global climate commitments are to be met.
As the world marks Earth Day, the United Nations says humans are using about 1.6 times the amount of resources that nature can sustain. And there are calls for business to do more. Here's Juliet Mann.
Biodiversity is declining faster than at any time in human history. The United Nations has said short-term economic gains are being prioritised over the health of the planet. Since 1970, there has been on average almost a 70% fall in the populations of mammals, birds, fish, reptiles and amphibians. Some 1 million animal and plant species, that's almost a quarter of the global total, are being threatened with extinction. And researchers estimate that people cut down up to 15 billion trees each year to clear land for human use. Land and ocean under protective or conservation has increased 42% in the last decade, covering around 21 million square kilometres. But scientists say that's not enough to curb loss of biodiversity. And that's why large-scale efforts from legacy brands and companies are so important. YSL Beauty has announced a global initiative to protect and restore 100,000 hectares by 2030, giving special attention to the brand's ingredient harvesting regions, including Haiti, Madagascar and Morocco, which is where saffron grows. Well, Caroline Nègre is YSL Beauty's International Sustainability and Scientific Director.
Those 4 areas are key for us because these are regions where we source some precious ingredients for the brands, ingredients for skincare, for makeup, but also for fragrances.
Now, YSL, like all beauty companies, uses natural ingredients. I'm thinking vanilla from Madagascar or jasmine from Morocco. So is the industry itself responsible for plundering nature's resources?
We've always been working with external partners in order to make sure that our ingredients from those regions and from the region are sustainably sourced. My main ingredient is coming, or most of my ingredients are coming from Europe, but now we want to go further. We want to continue building and supporting the communities in other regions. So that's why we decided to go further in 2022 to accelerate, because now it's time also to accelerate and do more where in places the biodiversity is at threat.
And what makes these areas at risk? What puts them at threat?
If we go to Haiti, Madagascar, Indonesia, and Morocco, for example, biodiversity is at threat because of climate change, because of deforestation for agriculture. So that's where we need to act. That's where we want to go and work with local communities in order to restore the wild and then offer a better environment for those communities.
It's particularly important for you to empower local women, certainly in Morocco. Talk us through that.
So it's a program where we work with local community of women, a cooperative of 33 women. And those women, actually, they are harvesting botanicals that then we transform and use in our product. So for us, those women are vital to this program. So we've been supporting them for years by helping, by training them, by providing them some business training, business courses in order to help them be more financially autonomous.
How much of what you do in terms of helping the environment is being driven by your customer base and maybe by your younger customers in particular?
We know that we need to act. YSL is a brand that acts. So that's why we are now releasing this commitment about the environment. And we know also that consumers, especially the Gen Z, they are very much sensitive to those environmental issues. To give you an example, we are also starting a partnership with Snapchat in order to engage more and give more information, share more information about those younger consumers about what is rewilding.
The United Nations says that the world has got to rewild an area the size of China to meet its commitments. I mean, that's absolutely enormous. So, let's face it, are we taking too little action too late? Is what you're doing at YSL really going to make a difference?
It's now the job of everyone to go further, to act, to commit, and then I think and I believe that all together we'll be able to get the world that is wilder.